Konami and Bloober, is that how you say it? Bloober?
Correct.
Team announced partnership amid Silent Hill links. So, did I know you couldn't make it to the show last week, but did you see the segment I did on Abandon? How the
Ooh.
basically,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. How you fell for the trick, and you don't think that Kojima is Hassan Karaman.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
because the guy actually came out with a video and was like, dude, I'm real.
Oh yeah, that actor. Yeah, he definitely came out. Remember how he was like asked if anyone from his studio can come out, and he's like, no. Remember how he was asked how many people work at his studio, and he couldn't say.
Okay. Um, I just wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt because he presented himself. He looked like a real person, but I don't know.
He's a fucking puppet.
Maybe he's like one of those AI um, deep
Dude,
fakes. Maybe he's a
yeah,
deep fake.
exactly. CG has gotten really good.
It has. But no, I kind of withdrew my hat from the ring for that rumor. So now we have another rumor that seems more plausible, in my opinion. So Konami and Bloober Team have signed a new strategic cooperation agreement that will see the companies create games together. So this is actually proof of something, right?
Yes.
The new partnership between Silent Hill publisher and the Medium developer will include jointly developing selected contents and exchanging know-how, according to a statement released by Bloober Team. In a separate press release, Konami said it was excited to work with Bloober Team and other highly regarded development partners to produce games from existing and new IPs. The most interesting is existing. According to people with knowledge from Bloober's plans, one of the projects is working on it's working on is Silent Hill related. However, Video Game Chronicle understands that Konami has already outsourced at least one other Silent Hill project to a prominent developer in Japan, and there could be even more developers working on their own projects. So Bloober Team said in February that it was working on an existing horror IP from a very famous gaming publisher. And this is what made the speculation that they were working on a Silent Hill game. So they didn't reveal the identity, but what we do know is that this partnership seems to be real because both parties acknowledged it. So, yeah, what do you think, man? Does this seem like it could be the actual rumor we've been waiting for? Or not rumor, but the
Uh
actual proof we've been waiting for?
oh, okay. Maybe. I mean, it's never going to be proof until it's like solid,
Yeah,
you know? Solid snake. Set in stone, if you will.
yeah,
And it looks like it's heading that way.
yeah.
Um, the question is this what we want? Question mark. You see my face? It's
The
because like
medium.
they've made Layers of Fear, they made Medium,
Yeah.
and granted they are, you know, survival horror-ish type games, but they're all in first person.
Hmm.
Oh, I actually haven't played. I don't know the Medium. I think Medium's third person. Um,
Yeah.
but there's no combat. There's literally no combat, and it's more just like walking and avoiding, hiding, rather than facing your fears.
Yeah, they're like they're
Facing the terror and actually fighting, sexy undead nurses or
yeah.
mannequin legs sewn together.
Yeah, it's kind of like a what do they call them? A suspenseful game, like a psychological horror type game.
I
Yeah,
guess. But I mean, the Medium I think wasn't too highly rated,
it
even
wasn't.
though it's probably the most Silent Hill of the games that they've created.
Yeah. It
And it's
didn't get
mostly
the
due to the fact that all you do is walk.
yeah.
Um, and don't get me wrong, I mean, it can have that atmosphere and stuff like that, but if it doesn't have that engaging gameplay, then I'm kind of not for it.
Yes.
So,
Same here.
will they uh recreate a Silent Hill type game in the form of their games that they've made, or will they take all that atmosphere and the amazing art direction they're capable of, and then actually create a Silent Hill type game? And even then, what kind of quality are we looking at?
Yeah, no, you're completely right. The medium did not get the feedback that I thought it was going to get.
Yeah, no, and I was excited when I first saw it.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, I became uninterested as I saw as I got to know more of the game and then saw reviews, and I was like, okay, you know what, I can pass on this for now.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like they would have to develop a combat system. You know what I mean? And I don't if it would be their first game with a combat system, it might be really clunky. You know what I mean? So
I mean, here's the thing: Silent Hill's combat was never the smoothest anyway.
yes,
It's
yeah,
just more like
you're
a
right.
pipe and
Yeah,
just like knocking things.
I always remember the
Um,
pipe.
yeah. So Silent Hill wasn't really known for its combat,
Yeah,
granted, um, but it did add to the suspense and the ability to kind of thwart any enemies that were in your vicinity. Um, it's a different type of immersion.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, look, we've been speculating for over a year now. Like, when is Konami gonna commit to bringing back Silent Hill? Right.
Yes.
Um, same with Castlevania. I mean, they've been very hesitant. And we talked about the fact that they pulled out of E3. So yeah, we have to wait and see, because if it is something, it's probably something in the very early stages. So because yeah, like they just finished Medium, so
Yeah.
but they did say in February, so maybe who knows? Maybe they started in February working on a Silent Hill game. So
And Konami has a history of giving their IP kind of liberally, I guess,
yeah,
to the point where it just the it tarnishes the brand. Like Silent Hill Downpour and Homecoming, they
yeah,
weren't really good Silent Hill follow-ups.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and then Castlevania. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed Castlevania when they gave it to Mercury Steam, the first one.
Lord of Shadow.
Correct,
Yeah.
Lord of Shadows. I didn't really care for the 2D one, Mirrors of Fate,
Hmm.
and then the follow-up, Lords of Shadow 2, was not good at all.
Yeah, I heard Lord
But
of Shadow 2
but
was
even
bad.
then, there was Lords of Shadow in and of itself was very. I don't want to say controversial because I don't think it was that polarizing.
Yeah,
In that it was more kind of like a God of War / Shadow of Colossus clone
yeah,
than it felt like Castlevania.
yeah,
So I hope this is the right move and that the ends justifies the means.
yeah.
That hopeful optimism that we were talking about earlier.
There is a studio that made a little game called Bloodstain that would be perfect to make a new Konami
Oh
Castlevania game.
man,
They would be,
if Koji Igarashi were to be like, yeah, I'll entertain this, I'll do it. That'd be fantastic. I
yeah,
would love
like
that.
they don't have to be adversaries. You know what I mean? They can work together.
Yeah, but I mean that's going along the same lines as Kojima working with Konami and
Yeah,
making a Silent Hills game or even a Metal Gear Solid game.
exactly, exactly.
You know,
Konami,
like what would the next Metal Gear Solid game look like? Because Metal Gear Survive definitely wasn't it.
yeah, it's weird. It's almost like Konami
And then
holds grudges. You know what I mean?
and then also Contra, that new Contra game. I forget what it was called. It was terrible.
Contra Rogue Core.
So yeah.
Yeah,
It was awful. It was nothing like Contra. So they have a history of trying to revitalize an IP with a different company and
just
it
does not
failing.
work. Doesn't work. So yeah, I mean, look, like just who's best to develop those games. They have their own studios. I'm sure, but you know what? Who knows? Maybe Kojima and what's his name?
Koji Igarashi.
Igarashi.
Uh, Yeah, they
Maybe
call them Igavania.
You, maybe they're so like done with Konami, they'd be like, hell no.
I mean, Bloodstained is Koji's baby.
Yeah,
That's something that he owns completely.
yeah,
The only thing that I think Bloodstained lacks is the art style. I personally am not a huge fan of the art style or the 3D
yeah,
look to it. I
yeah.
prefer very much the sprite look, but that's expensive. I understand.
But it is cool how he kept that whole Victorian age look. You know what I mean?
The gothic thing going
Yeah,
on, yeah, no,
yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely, of course.
Okay, so yeah, that's it for that. It's not a rumor per se. The rumor part is that they're working on a Silent Hill game, but the fact that they're working with Konami is established. So that might be the closest we've come to a legitimate potential new Silent Hill game. So